Is $5 a good deal for a small payware airport in the middle of Pennsylvania? We'll find out in today's 43 nautical mile flight to November 43 Braden in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let's hop into the pilot seat and get started. Alright, today we're in the Cessna 152 and we're doing my favorite type of flight, which is VFR using just eyeballs. So we are taking off from Northeast Philadelphia, which is a Class Delta tucked underneath the Class Bravo of Philadelphia. If we zoom in here in ForeFlight, you can see that the Bravo airspace starts at 3,000 and the Delta ends at 2,600. So we'll need to stay beneath that on our departure. We'll fly heading 344, heading towards Horsham Valley Airport. That's a closed airport, so we should see X's on the runways. We're also going to overfly Interstate 276, so that's a good VFR reference. We'll maintain that heading until we get west of Doylestown, and there we'll be looking for Peace Valley Reservoir. That's a super easy waypoint to spot, and there we're going to change direction. We'll fly heading 005 north, and we'll look for our next big waypoint, which is Lake Noxamixon. Super easy big lake to spot. We're going to aim for the eastern side of it and then change to fly heading 015. We'll pick up the Delaware River and follow it until we get to Phillipsburg. So Phillipsburg will be the first spot that has tons of buildings. Once we spot that, we're only 3 miles from the airport. We'll fly heading 324 to get to it. At this point, we're going to need to be aware of the Class Charlie, that's Allentown. You can see that it starts at 2,200, so we're going to stay below 2,200 as we approach the airport to avoid getting into trouble. If we switch over to the satellite map and zoom in, then we can see that Metzger athletic fields are just to the south of the airport, and those should be a good visual reference when we're trying to locate the airport. I snagged November 43 Braden in the Microsoft Marketplace for $5 US, so it's a small untowered field. There's not a lot to it, and I think that's probably the right price. In fact, I think it's maybe a little bit of a bargain if you like flying to untowered fields. So let's take a look at it and see how it fares. The field itself is a small collection of hangars in a central area, and as you look at these, you can see awesome texture work. There's a parking spot inside one of the hangars, which has lots of nice detail on the interior. And again, as we do the flyby here, check out the texture work. It's one of the first things I look at when I look at a payware aircraft, whether it's on signs or on the buildings. If all the textures are unique and not repeating, that's a good sign. And we can see that detail continues on through some of the hangars out in the field here. Even as we pan around the fuel station, looks great. So awesome work for $5. It's a deal. Northeast Philadelphia is in a Delta, so we need to contact ground to get permission to taxi. So let's give them a call. Northeast Philadelphia ground, November 359 Golf Charlie, taxi for north departure with information India. Taxi and hold short, runway 33 via Alpha 1, November 359 Golf Charlie.
Maintain 2000 and expect flight level 400, 10 minutes after departure. Philadelphia departure.
Alright, we'll have a look around. So we are clear ahead, clear on our right, and technically clear on our left, although we got the guy with the tug here that we can't get rid of, standing just off of our nose. So we're going to turn right and avoid running him over. Northeast Philadelphia is a freeware airport that I got from flightsim.to, so be sure to click on the video details and expand it to see the links for all of these. We're listening to liveatc.net, and this is Northeast Philadelphia live streaming. Normally I run with live weather, but today we got some snow. So when I first loaded up the simulator, there was snow, which was kind of cool, but it was also overcast and not very good for VFR flying. So today we're running with the light clouds preset, or a few clouds preset. Northeast Philly ground, November 359 Golf Charlie, holding short, runway 33. Cleared for departure, runway 33, November 359 Golf Charlie. In X-plane, Just Flight has an awesome Cessna 152, and I would love Just Flight, if you're listening, for you to release that for Microsoft Flight Simulator. The default C152 is nice, but you really can't beat the Just Flight version for Explained. One of the things I like about the C152 is that it's all steam gauges with no GPS, so it forces you either to fly purely visually or to use VORs and NDPs, which is exactly the way I like to fly. And rotate, and it really leaps off of the runway when you rotate, so let's get ourselves stabilized here. I've been watching YouTuber Ruskin Flies channel. He's a real-life pilot who just got his PPL certificate this year. He flies out of Wings Field, which is not far from here, so it's awesome because he also flies Cessna 172s and Cessna 152s in his channel. Be sure to check it out. He is infectious with his enthusiasm for aviation. As you've heard me say on the channel, I also want to get my PPL certificate. The plan was to do a discovery flight last year, but the pandemic got in the way of that, so hopefully we'll get out of pandemic world sometime this year, and I'll get to do my discovery flight. Alright, we're going to hold this heading and keep an eye out for Interstate 276 and Horsham Valley Airport. So let's sit back and enjoy that awesome flight simulator scenery. Perhaps one of the best things about Microsoft Flight Simulator is that you can do true VFR flying. You don't need any instruments, you don't need GPSs, you can use your eyeballs, and especially in areas with photogrammetry like Philadelphia, spot landmarks, rivers, athletic stadiums, you name it, and just navigate by waypoints. So I love it. That is my favorite type of flying. So if you enjoy content like this, be sure to click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, as always, for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.